Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/JustNoMil. In today's episode, in-laws disowned their grandson because of his surname. So how petty would it be of me? MIL demands to help us with the baby. JNMIL wedding planning win. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. In-laws disowned their grandson because of his surname. I gave birth a few months ago to a healthy baby boy and my husband, and I decided that our son would take both surnames, with my surname going first before his. 1 hour after I had given birth, we called my in-laws to tell them the good news as well as his name, and they immediately told us to drop my surname. They said, "That's not our grandson then." I was lost for words. I endured 12 hours of labor with 2 hours of pushing just to hear them say that. They went on to say that if our baby was a girl then she could hyphenate her surname, but because it's a boy, he must take my husband's surname only. A boy or girl shouldn't matter so long as they are healthy. Keep in mind, I was still sitting on the hospital bed covered in blood and hadn't had a chance to eat or shower yet. Following this, they called my parents to force my parents to tell me to drop my surname and to change my son's surname. It became a massive ordeal. My MIL did not check in to see how I was doing until 3 days later, and my FIL and I have not spoken at all. Eventually MIL said the surname doesn't matter, so we allowed her to visit, but every time she visits I am overwhelmed with emotions. I'm reminded of my birth and how that special moment with my son was robbed from me. My husband has been amazing throughout all of this. He's prioritized myself and the baby and has limited the visits from my MIL. My FIL still doesn't accept the surname, so refuses to visit. I've been dealing with postpartum depression for the last 4 months and am struggling to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Am I wrong for feeling like I don't want to see my MIL and FIL? I'm trying to do what's best for my sanity as well as trying to keep my husband's interests in mind, as he hopes one day my MIL/FIL can have a relationship with our son. That's not our grandson then. I would have never let them off the hook for this. They would never know him. When a grandparent says, "That's not my grandchild," my opinion is to agree with them 100%. And since by their own words it's not their grandchild, then there is absolutely no reason for them to have any contact with the child. Or their siblings, since if one isn't their grandchild then none of them are their grandchild. Exactly this. When people show you who they are, believe them. Personally, in this situation, I would have taken them at their word, the very first time they gave me an opening like that. No arguing, no saying "you don't really mean that." I just smile and say okay, then enjoy the rest of my life without their interference. When the trash wants to take itself out, don't try to stop it. So they rejected an innocent little soul cause of their own twisted wants. They don't deserve to be in your child's life. What does it even have to do with them anyways? This was clearly a decision you and your husband discussed and came to an agreement with. They have no say. Did your MIL even apologize, or was she just allowed back? What else will they reject your child for in the future? Man, they are disgusting. I think the question of whether MIL apologized is an important one. If you haven't, Opie, then it sounds like you still have a thing or two to say to her about the day you gave birth. What they did was out of line and absolutely awful. You have every right to be angry and to cut them out of you and your child's life. Your child will not benefit from having them in their life. They have made it very clear that their love is conditional. If your child ends up being anything they don't approve of, disabled, neurodivergent, queer, they will drop that kid like a sack of potatoes. Cutting them out now could save your kid a lot of heartache. Let them not visit. Ever. These people sound so incredibly desolate and petty. They are entitled, pathetic, possibly misogynist people. Be happy that they are out of your life and you don't have to put up with their BS. Focus on your newborn and your own well-being. You really are allowed to put yourself first. And that means not having disrespectful nasty people over at your bed, FAL or no FAL. Can you imagine how rotten one's soul must be not to want to see a grandchild over a last name? It's disordered. What other things about your child will they disapprove of later on? Cut them off now. They've made it clear that your boy is not safe with them nasty bunches of cray-cray. Yes. Why would you want to visit, MIL? You told us yourself that this isn't your grandson. Why on earth are you letting your baby see some old BTCH that said he wasn't related? Hard pass. They'd never see him again, not even a picture. And if they ever said a single word, you can bet your sweet biscuits I'd let them know exactly why. Congratulations on your baby. Having been through PPD, the whole first year, 3 years later, it's just depression now, it's an ordeal. You should absolutely not be dealing with these, and I use this term lightly, slug people at all. They are not going to be conducive to your healing. We're only allowing family to see the baby right now, sorry, and that's all I'd say. When you make a statement like they have, you better bet I'll hold you to it. Don't be throwing those kinds of things around and expect me to open my door. Mama, you've got every right to feel the way you do. If you feel strong enough to address it with MIL, then by all means tell her exactly how her words affected you, and now you're coming out of the fresh baby bubble, you've had time to process a little more, you absolutely can cut her off. This is the kind of malicious compliance I live for. There are two priorities that trump everything else right now. 1. The health and well-being of your baby. 2. Your health and well-being. Things that damage or cause stress to either of those should not be allowed around you, including your MIL. If you want, you can reconsider allowing her to visit when you are mentally up to it. Until then, she just has to live with the consequences of her actions. So how petty would it be of me? In 3 weeks we're taking a vacation as a family for LO birthday. For the last 8 months MIL/FAL weren't going because it's a waste of money and she won't remember, but on the 4th of July my MIL got called out for lying and only wanting to be involved in LO life when others are around. Somehow it got brought up that we're wearing birthday girl/mom/dad shirts on LO birthday. It was originally just going to be the 3 of us, but the narcissistic individual she is, she convinced my husband it was my way of not including the 20 other family members, blah blah blah. So I found the same image without the birthday girl's parents and told them order them themselves and that you can have whatever color you want, but I didn't want anyone in pink. That was the color of the birthday girl. She then proceeds to cry to my husband about how I told her she can't have family shirts because she can't match the birthday girl. Lies and tells my husband she got a different color and come to find out she ordered the same color. Would it be petty of me to order my daughter a different color shirt and not tell her? Do it. Matching colors for LO, you and so. And then don't acknowledge that you changed the color. If she says she though LO would be wearing pink, then just say yeah, but I also said for no one else to wear pink and yet here you are in pink, so? What's your point? I like you. Ha! Exactly this. So, I would take this one step further. I would order all different shirt sets for you, DH and LO, like other posters have suggested. Then wear a different set each day, she will only have the one shirt and you 3 can be special all the days you are gone, if you want to. It will piss her right off. Good luck and have fun. OMG, this so much this. Also make sure all the others are not pink at all. Like lavender and lilac, dark purple with like gold or silver sparkles, like a tie-dye of purple and like different pictures on it if anything that are different as well. I'm saying petty, I don't think it's petty at all, it TF up. I would do this too, I couldn't cope with her winning in this. To note though, I am petty LOL. You need to order a different color for sure. And you a matching one. Also if y'all aren't going NC, please at least go info diet. That bitch did not need to know y'all were doing matching shirts, or be invited on your family vacation. Who is involving her? His sister, I guess, had causally mentioned how the birthday themed was wild one, and we even had shirts to wear on her birthday. I don't believe she did it on purpose, as the SIL wasn't even involved in the matching shirts and was okay with it. She also knows her mom does some pretty wild things. MIL is the type of person you can't talk about anything around, or be short in regards to information. She'll dig. For extra credit, get you, hubby, and daughter all the same color. Yes, this. I 100% agree. Let her find out when the rest, if the family are there. If she throws a fit, she'll embarrass herself in front of everyone. Hold up. You told her pink was to help your kid feel special, and your MIL got a shirt in pink? She wears white to wedding too, doesn't she? Get your daughter a different color, and when your MIL inevitably pitches a fit, call her out. You couldn't let DD be special and have her own color. You wanted to steal the spotlight from an X-year-old. So we made sure you didn't. But if you want her to know what you did when she gets older, we will be happy to tell her. She is that woman. Wears a white long skirt and says, "My whole outfit isn't white." She said it was my way of controlling wanting my daughter to be unique. No, it wouldn't be petty, it would be awesome. When she whines about how she isn't in the same color as the birthday girl, tell her, Oh, dearest MIL, it was so weird. I went to order DD's t-shirt and they had only just sold out of that color. Bonus points if you, so and DD are all in the same color. It's honestly not a lie right now. As a screen printer, it's my daily struggle to find style and color. Sometimes we have to compromise. Wear pink so MIL will be matching you, and order the daughter something else. Watch her head explode. Oh, so good. So very, very good. This is beautifully evil. This entire situation has much more serious issues that should be resolved. Colored shirts are the least of your problems. You need to put this narcissistic grandparent behind you. Your husband needs to acknowledge his new family as his first priority. You cannot move on until he has your back. Then you both decide what is best for your growing family. Get tie-dye in every color of the adult shirts except pink, just to emphasize the petty. I like this idea. MIL demands to help us with the baby. I gave birth to our LO about a half year ago, but since she's a preemie, she's more like 3 to 4 months old. A very sensitive kid. You must handle her gently, speak to her softly, otherwise she just gets nervous. Well, MIL takes pride in being a very energetic and active lady. And she wants to help with the baby so badly. She speaks loudly, moves quickly, and our girl just won't stop crying when she's around. She also does weird things like shaking down the branches of the trees we see when we go for a walk with the girl, while the stroller is exactly under the branch, or shaking the stroller itself too aggressively so baby's head just moves from side to side. Or trying to get the baby out from a moving stroller without any warnings before. She sees this as helping with the baby, but I'm just afraid to leave her with the baby alone. I'm trying to stop her from doing these, but she just keeps getting offended and doing some other weird stuff. This causes me to avoid her as much as possible, but am I overreacting? Mom, you are too loud for the baby. You are too rough for the baby. We need you to adjust to baby, not startle her and rough her up. We will be wearing her and reminding you to be quiet, gentle, and peaceful so the baby can learn to like you. Have your husband text her that each time before you see her. My husband does think I'm overreacting. Stop it. Your child's health and well-being, physically, emotion, and mentally, is more important than your mother-in-law's feelings. Especially if she's the one acting and behaving badly. Stop hanging out with her, stop inviting her over, and stop having her be responsible for your child in any way, shape, or form. What your mother-in-law is doing is ignoring the fact that your child, a literal infant, needs something she doesn't want to do. Your mother-in-law finds it funny to terrorize your infant. Throw a fit. Cause a scene. She is behaving quite immaturely and honestly, she needs to be put in her place for it. I believe you are currently underreacting and I would love to see you overreact. Tell her to stop it, and make her really consider what she's doing as an adult. ETA, I apologize if this comes off salty. As a child, I was often verbally and physically terrorized by adults who thought they were joking and that it was funny. It was never funny. I now have anxiety and PTSD. Tiny humans do not understand the nuance of jokes and pranks. Their brain does not have the capacity to understand that until the age of like 9. No, without criticism, you're underreacting. MIL has shown you on repeated occasions that she can't behave appropriately with LO. You do not have to put up with MIL's behavior/ride herd on her. Your first responsibility is to your infant rather than corralling MIL. It's unfair and unreasonable to you and LO for you to have to do so. Yet her behavior makes it absolutely necessary. Bad for LO and stresses the daylights out of you, which is good for nobody. Sit down with DH and politely, matter-of-factly, share with him that MIL's behavior is so inappropriate that it stresses out LO. You're informing rather than arguing, you don't have to convince him, you're laying out fact and expect his solidarity. Share with him that you're legitimately fearful for LO's safety around her, cause you're not exaggerating in your account here. That repeated attempts to modify her behavior are unsuccessful, she takes offense to you, the mother of y'all's child, providing direction and behaves more weirdly. As LO's well-being is and will be your first concern, you're done riding herd on MIL. As of the conversation, MIL visits only when you and he are present, your primary responsibility is LO and his is corralling his monkey. Mommy, I meant mommy. If he goes to the kitchen or bathroom, you'll be placing yourself between MIL and LO and being blunt, as she has repeatedly refused your direction, her interaction with LO is limited to observation. No physical contact unless you and he are present, and at the first inappropriate behavior, in either your or his sole judgment, visit's over. The only way MIL will control her own behavior, instead of having to be roped and hogtied, yeah, I'm Texan, is consequences. If a visit gets cut short based on her actions, a one-visit timeout is initially in effect. If she normally sees LO once weekly, a week TO happens. If it's typically once every 10 days or couple of weeks, a 2-week TO follows her departure. Next and important, successive timeouts double each time, 1x, 2x, 4x, 8x and so on. You're protecting LO and yourself from undue stress rather than punishing MIL. Remember this: a JN must experience significant loss of privilege in order to find it worthwhile to alter their behavior. When her TO doubles every time, she will understand that she's in charge of her actions and you're in charge of your response. When you go horseback riding, somebody is in charge. For a pleasant experience, that needs to be the rider. MIL has shown that she can't or won't modulate herself. Therefore, you'll be in charge, as LO's safety and well-being are your primary responsibility. Keeping MIL or any other chronological adult happy or letting them ignore your reasonable expectations with regard to LO's safety and well-being are 100x less important. If MIL throws a hissy, she's part of DH's circus. His monkey. Mommy. Not yours. That's classic attention-seeking behavior. Essentially, she is competing with your child. I'd have your so speak with her immediately. This is why you can't watch the baby. I've told you no, and you keep doing it. Until you respect her needs, we will limit her time with you. Your baby is a tiny human with their own needs, thoughts, and feelings. They are not a dress-up doll for a hyperactive granny to play with. She's not helping you, she's indulging herself. She doesn't care what your baby needs, wants, or feels. She just wants to play, on her terms, in her style, and at her whims. Rational, helpful people will adapt to the specific needs of your baby, putting them first. She won't. Notice I said won't, not can't. Do you know who plays too rough and too loud with a baby, despite warnings and advice? Unruly, misbehaved children who don't understand consequences. Your job is to protect your child, and sometimes that's going to mean protecting them from family. If a baby is hurt or traumatized by someone who's obviously mean, then it's condemned as abuse. If a baby is hurt or traumatized by someone being negligent in their actions, then they were just trying to help, didn't know better, had the best intentions. Your baby, despite not knowing how to talk, isn't stupid. They are telling you how they feel. Translate that crying mom, the loud, pushy lady that picks me up too rough, babbles in my face, and shakes my stroller is scaring me. I'd run away if I could walk. Why won't you make the terrifying thing that's scaring me go away? Crying equals something is wrong. Sharing a little DNA with Granny doesn't make that something is wrong magically into oh, it's fine, the terrifying thing is family so it doesn't count. Real help is asking you what you need help with. Not making up a definition that suits MIL's selfish wants. TBH, there was one time when she came and asked what should she do to help. And I had no idea what to say. When my mom comes over to help, even her presence by itself somehow makes the baby calmer. And she just takes the baby and takes care of her so I can sleep or do chores. Not gonna work with MIL. It doesn't even matter whether what MIL is doing is okay or is not okay. That's not the point. I would refuse even to discuss whether what MIL is doing is bad or good, or weird or not. The point is, you are the parent, you set the rules, and if anyone can't go strictly by the rules, they aren't allowed near the baby. Zero tolerance, because MIL has demonstrated that she's going to do what she wants, no matter what you say. MIL doesn't even get to decide which rules are important. Just know. JNMIL wedding planning win. Myself, 26F, and my future husband, 27M, are fortunate enough to have my parents generously paying for most of our December wedding. When my parents offered to cover most of the costs, they made it very clear that their money had no strings attached as long as we used it to have the celebration of our dreams. They were not going to hold it over our heads in any way. They truly gave us the money as a generous gift to help us start our lives together, and we are so appreciative. They gently give their opinions on things once in a while, but in a supportive way, never pushy, and always make it clear they want us to make decisions that make us happy. My in-laws also, generously, I acknowledge that they didn't have to offer it all, and I do appreciate them giving it all, are contributing to the wedding by paying for the DJ. The way we made the guest list was very fair IMO, since our venue has a limited 200-person capacity, which we wouldn't want a bigger wedding than that anyway. We counted up both of our bridal parties and immediate families, as well as our direct aunts/uncles/cousins. That came up to 120 people. So, we have 80 people left when it comes to friends, parents' desired guests, and in more extended family. To be fair, we decided to split the 84 equal ways, 20 for the bride's parents, who despite paying for 90% of the wedding, are completely okay with this, 20 for the groom's parents, 20 for the groom's friends, 20 for the bride's friends, so really, 10 guests each if they're bringing a +1. Considering it's our wedding, we felt it was fair that we as a couple get more than the other couples. Well, my JNMIL threw a fit that she can't fit all of her friends and extended, random, family members within the 20 extra people we allotted her. She then said, I can't believe I'm coughing up all of this cash for the wedding and I don't even get to have the people I want there. I restrained myself and calmly said, we appreciate you gifting us the DJ very much, but our guest list is not about money, it's about who we want there, and there are a lot of people we all want to invite, so we are doing this in the most fair way possible. She then escalated and said, I just can't imagine being so ungrateful to have someone giving you money for an event and not allowing them to choose their own guests. And I wasn't going to say it, because I don't think it should be a contest about money, but I lost it and just said it. If we're talking about people giving money for the event, my parents are paying about 60 times what you are paying. If you think the guest list should be divided up by who is contributing what, I can happily let my parents know you feel that way and are donating your 20 guests to them, since they are actually funding the wedding. I have never seen this woman speechless, but she sat there literally not knowing how to respond and then walked away, and I didn't speak to her the rest of the gathering. Even though in my heart, I really don't believe the guest list should be about money because everyone's situations are different, I have to admit it felt good to just own her on her self-absorbed excuse for logic. Feels good. Time to pay for your own DJ. It's not contributing to the wedding if their contribution comes with strings. And if, by chance, they do end up still paying for the DJ, insist on having veto rights on anything email or FAL requests. Mic drop, go boom. She might have paid for the DJ so she could choose an overly inappropriate groom/mother song. I'd check just in case. Thank her for the DJ bit, give her the money back and hire it yourself. She is causing undue stress for both you and her. I can happily let my parents know you feel that way and are donating your 20 guests to them, since they are actually funding the wedding. Oh hell yes, OP. You go girl. Bravo. That was beautifully handled. Congratulations on your win, op. I don't suppose that there's perhaps video of the look on her face when you gave her a little dose of reality? I would honestly pay money to see that, LOL. In any case, I wish you a beautiful wedding filled with happiness and an even more beautiful future filled with love and joy and health and prosperity. Encore. Encore. Applause. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.